very interesting find. About a mile or two from Noah's Ark, there are the ancient ruins of what they know to be Noah's ancient home. And the reason they know this is because there's a marker outside of these ruins. It's a giant stone with an inscription of a rainbow. Underneath the rainbow is a ship with animals coming off of it. And then there are 8 carved crosses representing 8 people that came off of the ark. And this was taken from a site that was a dug-up grave at those ancient ruins of Noah's home.
And those are the finger bones.
That is one single finger, and this is a regular-sized woman's hand next to the finger, so that gives you an idea of how large that person's hand had to be.
Was this Mrs. Noah's finger?
It is believed that this was the grave of Mrs. Noah, and that is Mrs. Noah's finger.
And her name would have been Joan of Arc.
Right.
Yeah, okay. What is this bone here now? This is a thumb bone?
This is a thumb bone. Now, this is not connected to the Noah's Ark location. This was taken from another place in the Middle East, but that's an example. That's a real bone of how large somebody's thumb was, and you can see it in comparison next to Mary's thumb. It's a lot larger. This toe bone has been examined by multiple actual scientists. None of them are willing to come out and say publicly that this is a toe bone because of backlash from the community. But every one of them said undeniably 100% this is a human toe bone.
But see, the guy would have to be 15 feet tall to have a toe.
He would. Yeah, and that's sitting in the palm of my hand. I have a pretty big hand, as you can see. That's in the palm of it. So that person would have to be easily 12 to 14 feet tall. And not only would their bones have to be longer, but they would have to be wider to sustain that much weight.
Sure, but it was a different world back then. We know there were giant reptiles. Mm-hmm. We find the bones all over dinosaurs. They find fossil cockroaches 2 feet long. They find fossil dragonflies, 2-foot wingspan. Fossil grasshoppers 2 feet long. Why can they admit there was giant everything else and can't admit there were giant humans?
It would prove the scripture as a truth.